Hello and welcome to another educational experience from Artisan Realty's archives. Today we're going to talk about understanding the differences in the way real estate used to be advertised and the present day that real estate is advertised, and hopefully with this particular educational material piece, you're going to see one of the great advantages that Artisan Realty has. If someone were to say, hey, why should I list my property with Artisan Realty? Who are you guys? Never heard of you guys, all that kind of stuff. Well, you can say we're an expert at the internet marketing of real estate. In order to understand why we're the expert, I think, well, I'll give you an example. I was talking with somebody today, and they said, well, if I listed my property with so-and-so real estate company, it's going to show up on their website. And my response to that would be that showing up on an individual real estate company's website is a feather in a universe. It's a 0.00000001 percentage of the possible marketing that's out there. The quality of the marketing is way, way, way more important. Every property that gets listed now gets sent up to the internet, and how it's displayed there is going to determine the success of the listing, how many showings there are going to be. And equally important, how quickly the house is going to sell, how long it's going to be on the market, and what the house will sell for. So that's pretty much a big thing. Let's take a look at it. 1983, writing ads for, the model was you would write an ad for a property after you listed it. You put it in the newspaper, have 2 or 3 lines, like this one right here, Drexel Hill 1905, Mini Estate, open Sunday 1 to 4, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with fireplace, price to sell quick. And basically someone would pick up a telephone, call the real estate company, and you would trade their name and phone number for the address. They would drive by or make an appointment to see it, and that was the model. It's not that way anymore. Although the ads were very tricky. Think about it, you have to write an ad that stands out on a page with 100 other classified ads. The result for brokerages that placed ads would sometimes be would create additional sales, and it satisfied sellers. It also gave us additional listing opportunities. We could say, hey, look, we advertised your house in a newspaper, you should list with us. Unfortunately, the true statistic is that about 1 out of 1,000 homes listed were actually advertised in the newspapers, and then 1 out of 400 of the houses that calls that came in would actually sell the house. So basically, the whole system was kind of to rev up the activity in the real estate company, to give leads to agents who sat on what we called floor time. They'd answer the phone, pick up leads, and then go out into the MLS book at the time and find houses for people. It was a completely different model than it is today. Today, this 2015, 2014 now, there's MLS descriptions pushing into the MLS onto aggregator sites. So let me kind of clean that up. So people will get a listing, say I just came from a house, I got a listing for sale. I would then put the information into the MLS, in our case Trend MLS, and then way more important than that, it would be then uploaded to about 5,000 sites on the internet. Every real estate brokerage site, the listing would be there. Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Redfin, HomeGain, HomeSnap, every site that's out there, the property would be there. And then the question is, does it really matter if it's at one additional site, for example, one company's website? No, it doesn't matter at all. That's totally irrelevant. What matters is that ad, that MLS information on the internet going to do its job? The job is to get people to go see the house. Pretty simply, the job of the ad is to get people to go see the house. How can I influence the public to go see your listing today? How does your marketing influence the public to list with you? And I would bet you just about anything that our office, with our information and our experience, will make sure, greater than any other company out there, that that property is going to create buyers who want to go see that house, because we understand the internet marketing of real estate, and I'll demonstrate that as we move forward. This is some people, well, Truman Capote once said about Jack Kerouac, a very interesting and creative piece of literature. He said, that's not writing, it's typing. It was trying to be critical. And in fact, a lot of times when real estate agents describe a property in the MLS with their words, that's typing too. It's not doing the job. The job is very important, very specific, and it has to be crafted exactly right in order to get the desired result, which is someone to go look at the house. The words that a real estate agent type here shouldn't be the words that they describe the property. They should make sure, one thing, that the people who read these words considers the house, saves the house, and ideally wants to go see the house. That's not the case in about 95% of the listings that get uploaded into the internet. This is a new paradigm, a new way of selling real estate. And a lot of realtors literally just do not understand what they're doing when they put a listing in the MLS. They don't understand the competitive nature of where that listing is going and how to make that house get shown. So the job of the MLS listing, the property on the internet, which is 90%, 95% of where all activity comes from, is simply to get an appointment. It's not to get a call or inquiry. It's not to market the house. It's not to get more listing opportunities. It's simply to create an appointment to go see the house. And we'll take a look at some of these things to see if they actually do it. Some examples here. 1983, the ads were designed to try to sell the individual house, and more importantly, to drive buyers and sellers to the agents' offices so they can pick up more leads and then go sell more houses. In 2013, it still has the institutional advertising effect. For example, we know the companies that have the most signs and the biggest brand names and all that kind of stuff. That's helpful if you think that's very important, but it really isn't as important as the quality of the way the house is described. Because the real estate agents involved in putting most of the information up don't understand the job of the ad, there's a lot of mixed messages apart from the prime duty to create a showing. Bad things are happening, and that's a great opportunity for us because we really do our cutting edge real estate company. We do understand how to market homes on the internet much better than any of the companies around us. So the other thing is influence a co-op realtor, other real estate companies to show the house, more important than influencing the public to go see the house, or which is which. And I'll tell you that it's equally important. I'll just go back here so I don't lose you here. It's equally important to convince co-op realtors to show the property, and there's ways to convince them and to unconvince them, as it is to convince buyers to select this house and then call a realtor to go see the property. That's our job, to get people into the house. I break it down to little pieces. I'll have another PowerPoint describing this. But the way I look at it is it's the job of the price to get people into the house and the MLS listing to get people into the house. It's the job of the house to have someone fall in love with the house. It's a job of the sellers to get out of the house so the buyers can fall in love with the house. It's the job of the brochure to not distract the buyers when they're in the property and keep that information separate. It's a job of the buyer's agent to stay out of the way and create the scene so that the buyer can make a decision to buy the property. If everybody does their job and all the pieces are there, the internet creates the appointment, the sellers get out of the way, the buyer's agent gets the people through the house, and through creating the space for the buyer to make a decision to buy the house, it all works. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things we do, I call them co-op eliminators, that discourage other agents in the community, in the real estate community, to show properties. Terms of contracts, challenges to being able to show the property, limited languages, anything that complicates the process. We'll take a quick look at that as we move forward here. So if essentially an entire chain of events has to happen to get someone from considering to buy the house, make an appointment on the house, being able to get into the house, having the kind of the situation available with them to decide to buy the house and to move forward. And any one of those chain links, if they're missing, could hurt the whole process. I'm going to get past this here. Here are some things in actual language in the MLS that people put in there thinking that they're describing the property and trying to sell and market the property, but in fact, let's take a look at what they're doing. So in the public information for everybody to see, nice 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath twin home, price to sell. Then it goes on to say tenant occupied, 24 hours notice to show. Now, they may be facts that it's tenant occupied and the seller would like 24 hours to show. But let's take this particular listing and stack it up in a Zillow or Trulia page where there's 50 listings for people to choose from. And if you had a choice, are you going to pick a house over and above other houses that says it's tenant occupied and requires a lot of notice to be able to get into it? No, it's actually going to fall off the list of properties that are going to be considered by the buyer. The person who wrote that ad doesn't understand the internet marketing of real estate. The second one here, buyer to pay $3,500 fee for the successful negotiation at the time of settlement. Property is being sold as is and buyer is responsible for a U&O. Terribly awful negative messages have nothing to do with the sale of the property. The person who wrote this particular MLS information doesn't understand the internet marketing of real estate. Third one here, Seller needs 24-hour notice. There is no lockbox. Seller will come home to remove the dog and leave the front door open. Please let appointment center know if you're going to be late. Let me break that down. Seller needs 24-hour notice. That means you can't show the house unless you have a day and a half notice, essentially. That rarely happens in real estate. No lockbox. What does that mean? I'm going to open a door that's been unlocked. There may be strange people in there. A little bit scary. Seller will come home to remove the dog. What if he doesn't? The dog might bite me. The house might smell like a dog. There may be fleas in the carpet. All these things are going through typical buyers' heads. Please let appointment center know if you're going to be late ASAP. Everybody's going to be mean here. If you're late, they're going to yell at you. Who wants to choose that house compared to the other 50 houses out there? Hopefully you're starting to get an idea of why it's really important to craft the perfect message to get the appointment, and how if these were used to sell a property, these houses can sit on the market for 3 or 4 or 5 months. If it's a $200,000 or $300,000 house, it's going to lose $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in equity because nobody shows them. And I guess my point there is, if a house is brand new on the market, people will be willing to pay full price for it if they like it. If the house is on the market 30 days, they won't pay full price. If it's on the market 60 or 90 days, they're going to be offering 90 cents on the dollar, even less, just because of the days on the market. The days on the market are created by agents who don't understand the marketing of real estate. Just over 40% of the people who were viewing real estate remarks said that they're no importance at all. In fact, the only thing that remarks created by agents to market real estate can do is to make sure people won't see the property. They have very few beneficial areas. So it's really good to be generic, not to be very specific, and it's like a pinball going down a machine. Let people see that this house can be shown easily and it might be what they're looking for. 91% of the people looking at houses online look at the picture of the home. After that, they turn to the quantitative property descriptions. They turn to the lot size, the taxes, the assessment. After that, they may look at the remarks. But if the remarks are inappropriate, it's going to be an eliminator, co-op eliminator, just like I just said. So it is a new issue. This is a brand new thing that real estate agents in the last 3 or 4 years have had to first comprehend, second understand, and then third master the way to market properties. When you're sitting and talking with someone who's considering selling their property with your company, it's very important that you understand the reason why you should list with our company is we've mastered this, we understand this, we will review the ad and its ability to sell the property. Because the internet is the most important place to market the property. We're going to make sure there's no consumer eliminators and no co-op eliminators, so your house gets shown and we can go from that point. Here's some other eliminators. Things that have absolutely nothing to do with the positive marketing of property. Up to the top there, property being sold as is. Purchaser responsible for UNO. Seller will make no repairs. Ooh, let me move that to the top of my list. You can see how that's a real stupid way to sell real estate. The second one, read this. Public, investment property, right here. 4 bedrooms and a full bathroom highlight the upstairs of the property. The downstairs has marble flooring, half bath, access to a 1-car garage, and a walkway to the patio in the backyard. This is a great example of how the author put that this is an investment property, literally blocking out all the other opportunities for people to buy the house, say as a owner-occupied property, but they decide to limit it and say investment property. It's off the list. Here's a property here, has lots of information which limits it. This kitchen has oak cabinets. Well, what if they don't like oak cabinets? It's off the list. If this kitchen has newer cabinets, it would be on the list and would continue on. As of now, property needs cosmetic upgrades. There is no way in the world that that statement is going to do anything positive for this particular listing. Buyer will pay a $3,500 fee for successful negotiation and settlement. Say, hey, buy this house. You'll have to pay a $3,500 fee. It doesn't make sense. Every one of these listings is in competition with other properties on the internet. What if the listing just said, nice property, easy to show? For most real estate agents, it feels like you're not doing your job there by not describing in detail the whole property and blah, 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 blah information. However, if it said nice property, easy to show, it would be more effective than anything else you could add there. And you almost want to just stop right there. Things in the listing that actually might hurt. On the left-hand side, this idea of swimming pools. If someone has a swimming pool and we're going to market the property, we're going to suggest that we don't mention a swimming pool in the language. We don't put a photo of the swimming pool in the pictures. However, we're going to check the box that says for people who are looking for swimming pools. So it's going to show up in every search of someone who's looking for a pool. And then other people go look at the property. If they like the house, they may accept the pool. But if you put the pool in the photographs, you're not going to have hardly any showings, because statistics have shown that 75 or 80% of the people don't want to look at a house that has a pool. You start seeing the information here. In-law quarters. It sounds like a positive thing to describe the property that it has in-law quarters. However, 90% of the people don't want a house with in-law quarters, so by putting in-law quarters in it, you're eliminating 90% of the people, and they won't be on their list of properties to see. Square footage, another eliminator. Things that you should have. Easy to show, yes. Lockbox options. In our marketplace, there's a thing called an electronic lockbox. Very few agents have the key to them. If you put an electronic lockbox on a house, you're basically telling a lot of the agents you have no way to show this property. Kind of a no-brainer, right? Any mention of dogs, cats, or pets is a downer, is going to make sure that there's less showings on the property. Listing agent must be present. Owner must be present during showings. Total negatives, total turnoffs for buyers. That's the last house they want to see if they have to meet the owner and whisper as they wander through the house, or deal with another agent in addition to their agent when they're in the property. Taking off your shoes when you go in the house. Let notes that say turn the lights off. You've just made this a bad experience. Buying a house is a 100% emotional purchase. And if you make it a bad experience, you're just basically not going to get that house sold. You're working against the goal of the marketing, the realtors, and the seller's best interest. 1983, no ad writers would ever think to put negative things in their ads. Their goal is to get someone to call and go see the property. In 2014, 2015, real estate agents are making this mistake over and over and over again. That's why a company like Artisan can be successful, because we know a better way to do it. What if the Phillies marketing campaign this year said, Phillies may lose this game and it may rain? Are they going to fill more seats? What if a restaurant advertised, you may have to wait a long time, food may be cold, waiter may be rude? Obviously not good. This is more appropriate than ever. What if the 76ers advertised, we will lose every game in a dramatic fashion? No one's going to go see the 76ers. So these negative images, these negative thoughts that good intention agents are putting into their marketing, thinking that they're doing a better job selling the property because they describe everything in detail, are absolutely the wrong way to market real estate. At Artisan Realty, we know a better way. I'll skip there. There's a couple other examples. On realtor.com, this is out there for buyers to see as well as real estate agents. The bottom of this ad, which describes the property in so much detail that nobody would probably want it, it says, only owner wants pre-qualified prospective buyers to preview this property. Think about that. So someone's in a dreaming stage looking for a property, and they're not pre-approved yet in most instances, and it says only wants pre-approved people to look at the property. Are they going to encourage visits, the only goal of the ad on the internet? No, they're going to do the exact opposite. Here's part of this ad here. They talk about this property. This home is currently under lease for $1,100 a month. It expires by, so it's under lease, a bad thing. It's back on the market. Back on the market, the connotation in the real estate world means the sale fell through. Somebody really didn't like something about the property, and now we're trying to sell it again. Totally silly information to put in an ad that's supposed to be trying to sell a property. Here's one in the Overbrook Park section of Philadelphia. It stresses there's motion lights throughout the yard. Immediately, everyone's images of burglaries, robberies, people taking your personal possessions, breaking into properties. Not a smart way to sell real estate. So again, at Artisan Realty, we're experts in understanding how to make this language work for you. The size of our company doesn't mean anything. We are the mouse that roars. We are experts at knowing how to do this. This information I just gave you here is very unique in the marketplace. Nobody really understands it, except for people with a background like mine, where I've been in the internet marketing of real estate world for a dozen years. Other things that break the chain of selling a house that should never be in the marketing, the internet listing of the property. Any limitations on being able to see the house, having to call somebody before showing the property, the necessity of picking up a key, electronic lockboxes like I mentioned, not making it easy, not using a system for setting up showings, the icon system in Trend MLS, needing to get a mortgage pre-approval before you see the property, telling someone that the alarm system is on. It's terrible for when you show a house as a real estate agent and there's an alarm system on because we're scared to death we're going to set it off. We run in there like it's like high drama, making sure the alarm is off before we even can see the house. And in an emotional situation, that's just a terrible thing to happen to a showing. Any mention of pets, owner being home, listing agent being present. This is a strange one, but if the pictures are too good when you market a property, wide angle lens, fill in flash, all that kind of stuff, you're setting the buyers up for disappointment. Oh, I thought this room was bigger. Oh, this is not really as nice as it was in the pictures. They emotionally shut down like they're being taken advantage of. They won't even look at the rest of the house emotionally, and you've actually hurt yourself. So another interesting nuance of it. Mention that the property is a short sale, bank owned, and estate. Half the people in the world won't buy a house where someone recently passed away in the property. Some people say it's an estate sale, thinking they're saying something positive to people. It's the exact opposite. Property needs TLC. Buyer has to be responsible for any additional work. Buyer has to pay for a home inspection before they make an offer. All of these messages, while they're informative, are the exact opposite messages that you want to use if you're going to go and market a property. This is an example of a list of properties that I could possibly show in our MLS. And if you notice, they all have this blue showing icon here, except for one. That one that doesn't make it real easy for me to just click and set up an appointment is one that I'm not going to go show. It's a simple little stupid little system thing, but if I don't have that showing icon in, if I don't follow the rules when I put it in and make it easy for other co-op agents to show it, I'm going to defeat the purpose of trying to sell the house completely. Here's the true marketplace out there. So, and for two particular listings in the month of October 2013, it received 4,984 page views. So 5,000 times it was on a list of properties that buyers looked at. 228 times someone clicked on that property. So think of the competition there. That first picture versus in relation to the price and the address is what they're going to see at that point. And they'll click it 228 times. They did it 118 times on a smartphone, 110 times on a desktop. Then they did 3 more things, checked on the taxes, maybe did an analyzer that might be associated with that particular program. And all the way down at the bottom, they requested 4 out of 5,000 people requested information or a visit on the property, and 3 times the property was saved into their My Homes section that they could save the homes that they're interested in it. So it's very interesting when you think about how did it go from 4,984 to essentially about 7 people who are now going to consider that property. Well, it's pretty simple. It's the price in relation to the picture, it's the address, it's the quality of the pictures and what the pictures are trying to do, it's the remarks that the agent put in there, and then the hurdles that the agent set up in order to make that property that's easy to show, or maybe even not even want to show if there's owners or pets present and things like that. So you can study these numbers over and over again. They all show the same thing. It's a huge battle out there in the internet world of marketing real estate. You want someone who understands this, sets it up so you win that battle. And I'll leave that right there for our quick little lesson, 23 minutes, on why Artisan Realty is an expert at the internet marketing of real estate. Thanks.